What's up, everybody? Well, since this is going to be the first Christmas at the Connecticut house, I figured I would make a video of the decorations for you. Since last year I did another video at the Long Island house, which was our last Christmas there, I figured I'd show you how things are for this house here for the first time. Now, this is just currently how the decorations are for now. I mean, down the road when more things get finished, like the backyard and everything, we may have some more lights drawn out, in the coming years. But, just for now, this is what we have. And I thought maybe I'd show you just how all things are set up. I used significantly less lights than the Long Island house, but it's good in that regard that much less labor to do. And I just figured I'd show you around and show you what we got set up, okay? All right, so let's get to it. I'm standing on the side of the driveway right now. As you can see, we have a manger set up right over there. And then there's the rest of the house. And then we will continue along and show you what else we got. So let's get to it. So, let's see. So, along the garage here, I don't know how well this is coming out on the camera, but the front door of this house is not metal, unfortunately. So, some of you may remember those magnetic letters that say Merry Christmas. I couldn't find a spot on the front door to put them, so I'm like, hey, the garage door is metal. Well, why not do that? So, on the middle garage door, I have the two ribbons, the bows that say Merry Christmas, and the little balls on them too. I'm trying to aim this light the best I can. Sorry about that. There we go. So it does get lit up a little bit at night, but I mean you really see it during the day, which is really nice. And all the magnets fit on there really nice and secure, so I'm happy about that. So in the middle garage door, I decided to do that. My mom likes that a lot. Okay. And over here, you may recognize the two candy canes. And this time, since there's no spotlight on them, like in Long Island, they are plugged in, as you can see. Now, these have been plugged in for many, many years. But as expected, the bulbs that were currently in them, the filaments were all broken. So I since replaced them with 7-watt C7 incandescent bulbs, and they're doing very well. They're on this side of the house perfectly. So, and the way that we have these lights set up is we get one of these little outdoor timers you can get from Ace Hardware. You can set it up in several ways. They're either off all the time, on all the time, or they'll go from dusk till dawn, and then anywhere from 2 to 8 hours in increments of 2. And we have them set for 8 hours. So roughly these go on around like 4:30. So around 12:30 in the morning is when they shut off, and that's a pretty good time. So we got the two candy canes right here. And you know what? Let me just go back to where I started quickly, because maybe you'd like to see how you see the candy canes from here. Just backtrack here a little bit. Wait for it to focus. There we go. So there's the front of the house. And you can see the two candy canes right there. Okay? All right, so let's go on up and look at the front walkway now. Now, we have 3 of those timers. There's one for the candy canes, one for the North Pole, the snowman, and the lights here, and then another one for the spotlight over there, the Santa Claus, and the lights over there. And they're all set to the same amount of time. Okay. And upon plugging in the lights, everything was good. The only thing I had to do was I just had to replace the light bulb in the middle of the North Pole, but that was easy enough to do. Same as the candy cane, this North Pole has 2 C7 7-watt incandescent bulbs. And along here, you can see we have the colored lights that you've seen before. And all the colored lights are the EcoSmart LED strands. So I've had good luck with them, and so far they're still doing pretty good. You can see along here, let me just back up by the garage windows. You can see the marks along there. Let me see if you can see the North Pole. See what it says carefully. Yeah, there it is, North Pole right there. And there's the other light bulb for the middle part. Okay. And the snowman is lit up by a 60-watt equivalent CFL. That CFL I put in there, I think back when I was in high school. So I mean, it's still doing. So I graduated from high school 11 years ago. So I mean, sometime during that or more, it's still working great. So I'm happy about that. So the snowman is lit up there. But since the front door is in metal, we hung 2 wreaths from there, which gives a nice Christmassy feeling, which is nice. And there's the snowman. Right there. Some of the paint is worn off, as you can see. We can always get that repaired at some place. At some time, rather. We've had this snowman for many years. Here's some more of the colored lights along here. The other outdoor timer is is connected right into there, where the North Pole and everything else is connected. And the snowman has an extension cord running along there, across the wall, along the bottom, and to the timer. What's nice is those timers have 3 outlets and they all face down, so it gives them good water protection and it gives you a good number of outlets too. And along here, here's the other timer section. We have a strand of lights here, as you can see. There's a Christmas tree inside. We'll get to that in a little bit. And here's the Santa Claus. This is also lit up by 60 watt equivalent CFL. I'm going to say it was replaced roughly around the same time, at most 2 years later. So still lasting a very long time, which is good. There's the timer right there with the little red light, as you can see. And just along this part of the front here, here's the other lights. Again, the EcoSmart LED strands. Okay, now what we have over here is a manger that my mom has all set up. That's the same spotlight we've used before. We replaced the spotlight. It used to be a fluorescent light. We changed it to a 120 watt equivalent LED, and it really brightens up the figures here, which is really nice. So I will give it credit for that, absolutely. So it has the manger. Let it focus. There we go. So it has like Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, all those. As I said, the spotlight really, you can see how wide the beam of light is, which is really nice. Lights us up beautifully. And also actually lights up the house a little bit too, as you can see. Yep, and here's the front that you can see from here. And the Christmas tree's behind that window, which I'll show you in a bit. Okay, so let's go inside now. I unlocked the front door for this, so should have no problems getting in. Okay. Now let me just put this light down, put it on the dining room table for now. Okay, so you walk into the front, and some of you may recognize these ribbons and the lei. Yep, that's the lei that we used to hang from the ledge over at the Long Island house. We brought it here, and we found we found a perfect spot for it. There's the ribbons at the top of the stairs, and the ribbons at the bottom. And I'm just going to temporarily turn on the chandelier here. Okay, you can see there's Old Saint Nick, of course, poinsettia plants, poinsettia plant by the grandfather clock, ribbon on top of the clock, and a bunch along this curved part of the stairs here. So I guess we found some use for this thing, huh? And there's the lei going up the stair banister once again. And you can, let me just turn the chandelier back off. Yep, just like that. And again, all along here as well. Now in the dining room, you may recognize that wreath from last time. This wreath we've had for many years. We used to put this wreath over the fireplace in the Long Island house back before we had all the stone and the mantle built around it. This used to go over that, and it was a perfect spot for it. This is an incandescent strand, obviously, and we've had this for over, I'm going to say over 27 years, and it's still working perfectly, so that's definitely amazing. And you may notice that there's a blue one and a pink bulb there. That's just because we had to put new replacement bulbs in, and those are the only ones we could find, so we're like, whatever, it fixes the wreath. So, but yeah, this wreath is done very well. Not too much on the table. Let me just put the chandelier on for a moment. Just a poinsettia, little gingerbread house. There's Marco over there. And a couple of candles. The green and the white for Christmas, which is really nice. Yeah, comes out very good. Okay, now in this room, the piano room, here's the Christmas tree. Same as it's always been, star on top. The majority of the lights on this tree are LED from, I'm going to say, roughly 2006. And we have one incandescent strand on this tree, and that's just because the action figures that we have, they don't work with LED strands because the voltage is too low. So in one of the end part of the plugs, we plug an incandescent strand as the very last strand, put it around the tree, and put the action figures on accordingly. Like, for example, we have this one right here, as you can see. And we have this little lighthouse figure right there. See that? Oh, the red light's in front of it, sorry. There, you see the light flash. Like I said, you have to use an incandescent strand with that because of the voltage. And here's all the decorative, ornaments. Got some of the colored balls on top, as you can see. There's the star, and really very nice tree. The ceilings in this house are 9 feet, and I think this tree is roughly 7 foot, 7.5. So, and my dad and I carried it in. Really didn't have too much difficulty at all. You can see a couple more action figures right here. The little train and the carousels going around. And this one right here as well. Okay, and here's another smaller major on the inside of the house on top of the piano. Another poinsettia plant. And yeah, there's everything inside. Some cats there, lit up with the little light bulb. I think that's a C7 bulb. If I look carefully, I can't tell, but it's probably what it is. And all the figures along with it. Okay. So let's go into the kitchen now. There's Marco again. All right. So over here, you probably noticed that wreath right there. Here's the kitchen table. My mom has it all nice and decorated for the Christmas season. Got the tablecloth, candles, and everything. Now, some of you guys may remember this wreath. I had it in both my 2012 video and my 2017 video. No, I'm sorry, my 2016 video. It had clear incandescent lights, okay? But if you remember, last year, half of it was out, and we couldn't find any way of fixing it. So we got very smart. My mom, let me see if I can get this to focus. I'm sorry. Doesn't want to focus for some reason. It's getting worse. Let me see if I can fix that. Ah, there we go. Okay. So basically, my mom took the old lights off, and what we did basically here was, this is going to be pretty funny. The incandescent strand that we had for the Christmas tree last year, I threw it out because it wasn't working. I looked at the fuses, I looked at the bulbs, they refused to light anymore after the season was over. So I discarded it, and I said, okay, next year I'll just get a new incandescent strand. Well, I first bought this incandescent strand for the Christmas tree because of the action figures, but guess what? When we tried to put the action figures into the light bulb sockets, they didn't fit. I was like, oh, well, that's nice. So I had to go back to Ace Hardware, buy another strand from a different brand, which is on the tree right now, and we're like, what are we going to do with these lights? And my mom's like, I got a great idea. Let's put it on the wreath that's half out. And here it is. So thankfully, those lights did not go to waste. I'm very happy about that. You know, it's a strand that ended up not working for the tree, but it completely worked for something else, and I'm very happy about that. And it's kind of nice to have this wreath with colored lights now, just to give it a little bit more variety. And just for show, I have the top lights and the counter lights on in the kitchen, just to make it a little bit not so dark in here. And then the final thing, I guess, would be the stockings and the other decorations on the family room here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so so you can see we have this stuff we used. Remember the artificial tree we used to have? This is the stuff we used to hang on it, and my mom said, "Hey, let's put it on here." So she's very good at finding alternate uses for these things instead of just getting rid of them. So it really works out well. You can see it goes all along there. Okay, there's Lady in her bed. And here's the colored balls on the side, along the fireplace, just like in the Long Island house. Now, let's see if Lady says anything. Hey, Lady. I guess not this time. Anyway, okay, so yeah, the decorations along the mantle, all the stockings, as you can see. And poinsettia plant here. And, oh yeah, and over here on the half, well here, first we got these little things on this table here. And turn those lights back off. Okay. And over here on the, let's get a little bit more light here so I can show it to you. Okay, there we go. We have a few little figures and snow globes on the half wall here between the kitchen and the family room, which is really nice. So we have all those things. Very good design for this time of the year. And that's about it, guys. You know, we have a decent amount of decorations in the house, I guess you could say. I personally don't think it's too overkill. I mean, we do have a decent amount, but, you know, I don't think it's too much. There does come a point where, like, you know, after a while, there's just too many. I just kicked a box right there. You know, there's too many, and it's just too much. But this is really not so bad. And, oh, you know what? One more thing. I just found something else. In the sunroom, we've got an angel. Is that a Christmas ornament? It's Winnie the Pooh, it looks like, or maybe the Berenstain Bears or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, and then another fake poinsettia plane here, and then a couple of action figures here as well. Pretty cool stuff. All right, guys. Now I know that's everything. Okay. So, like I said, the house is decorated very well. Good Christmas spirit in here, and I'm forgetting what the light switch is already. Here we go. Okay. And things are all set up good, so we're definitely in here for the season. Everything's all set up, and we're enjoying it quite well, especially for the first Christmas here in Connecticut. Okay, and there you have it, guys. A nice decorated house for the first Christmas season ever here. So as usual, thank you very much for watching, and take care.